makes me walk against the world. So just let me go since the storm. Because we already played everything, I figured I'd play this because this ended up being a song I actually did buy off of iTunes and listen to a lot.
Yeah.
And then, as you can see, I am in perfect position to let you know I have 100% completed all of the collectibles. It took a real long time to do, but I even mastered every single pin. There might be one here that isn't mastered yet, but we're gonna master it today. I don't know if I'll get an accomplishment for it, but we'll see. I got every type of clothing, every type of food, so I did it. I accomplished it all.
The only caveat to all is just that you came out and said no to the Noisepedia. You're not 100%ing that.
No, that's way too hard. I got 89% complete. It's not really like the smaller enemies, it's like the bosses you have to refight.
And hope to God that their pins drop.
That the correct pins drop. And you can't chain those fights in order to make it so that way you can get the correct pin to drop. So you're just kind of out of luck with that. So now we ain't about that. I'm not replaying the same day over and over again to complete the Noisepedia.
Yeah.
But I will show, in terms of graffiti, I've gotten 96% complete. I'm not really sure what I'm missing for it. I feel like I'll probably get something from mastering all the pins. It's probably going to be like one of the completions is the Noisepedia. But I am so sorry. I didn't even say our names. It's me, Mirrorcard, Neko.
I know.
Got a little too ahead of myself. But this time I'm going to show you the other things that you need to do in another day. What I forgot to mention is that there are 2 secret endings in this game that you do have to unlock by doing specific things. The main story, we've already taken care of what's needed to unlock that. But for another day, we haven't yet. For another day, it's defeat all the pig noises, which we've already done.
Yep.
Then it's defeat Ryan's dive mission, which we've already done.
Yep.
And now this one is the next one we gotta do.
Which, we're gonna go ahead and tell you guys this much. We've already done this multiple times, and we tried to record this very thing at least once before, but their audio and video got messed up somewhere midway through the recording, and we're essentially having to redo this. So...
And I've done this. He can attest, I did this on Ultimate a couple of times to collect the pins.
Yeah.
So it's not like I didn't complete on an Ultimate, and I wouldn't have been able to collect those pins without it. So that's why, to spare you guys from having to sit through too long of a slog of fights, I'm doing this on medium.
Yep.
There's some seriously strong noise up ahead. Keep going. Of course.
Huh? Isn't that Coco? Yo, something ain't right about her. She giving me the creeps.
Sleep now. Rest in peace. Sleep. What's she saying? Dreams of dreams within dreams within dreams. And find peace there, never to awake. So sleepy. Gotta stay awake.
Basically the plot of Inception.
Well, I never actually watched Inception. I've just seen the South Park jokes about it.
Yeah.
But basically, from what I've heard, basically that episode summarizes the plot. We can switch pins and stuff in between the fights, but I don't think I need to do that.
Especially not on normal.
Yeah.
There's no reason why you have to. But, so yeah, it's been about, like, what, a couple weeks since the last recording?
Yeah, because we had Vanguard regionals, and then just a lot of stuff got busy in between.
Yeah. But, in between all that, we finally sat through the end of Ash's story. in the Pokemon anime. And,
I didn't think we were going to talk about that.
Well,
okay.
might as well jump into it. Because
guess
this is
so.
something that I feel like both of us, at least in some ways, especially you more so than me, we both felt like we weren't sure how to feel about it.
Yeah. I mean, I know we're very late to this party. Like, incredibly late. But honestly, I enjoy watching Pokemon in the dub. And just, I was not able to, we weren't able to get to it sooner. So, I mean, I did enjoy the 10 episodes that they released. But as someone who's been a very long time fan of Pokemon, like, I was there when the anime first aired on American television. I was there for that VHS promo. Like, I was there at the very beginning for Pokemon.
Yeah.
I was there for when the games first released. Like, for me, I think emotionally unsatisfying is what I came up with for myself.
Yeah.
Because I don't know, because there were so many things as a kid that I was hoping to see would see happen, but never actually truly happened in the anime for Ash's story. But at the same time, it kind of makes sense to end Ash's journey like that. Like, it makes all the logical sense in the world. Like, don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to say that they went the wrong way about ending Ash's story. I think they went the right way. Now, for Team Rocket, I think they should have just let them retire and be,
do something else, like kind of like how Cassidy and Butch did.
well,
Because they
I don't know
ended up,
exactly like Cassidy and Butch, but
they at least had more closure than Team Rocket, I feel like, which is
well,
ironic.
they were Team Rocket, but yeah, Jesse and James.
Yeah.
Which is funny because we were watching, what was it? It was called Pokemon Journeys this season.
I guess.
The one with, Go.
Yeah.
Because, like, we already had the knowledge by the time we were watching that in the dub that this season was wrapping up with Ash's story.
Yeah. And in fact,
So it did feel like at least that anime was setting up, like, a closure for a lot of characters.
Yeah. Or at least they tried to.
Yeah, well, I mean, they pretty much succeeded in a lot of odd aspects.
Yeah.
But I guess just after following Ash around so much, there was so much I wanted to see him do and accomplish. But I guess the fact that he came to the conclusion of I might be champion, but I still want to travel the world and still see Pokemon. I still want to challenge strong people. Like, I'm not done where I'm at. It makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
For his character. And I do think it was a good conclusion for him. I just wish we could have ended on something more than just which road is he going to pick to go on.
Yeah.
Like, even if he, like, there was just like, oh, Ash, there's an announcement for this type of competition in this region, but not state what region it was. I think that would have fit a little bit better.
No, but the thing is, he mentioned it himself, he never really wanted to be, getting good at battling only came natural to him. It wasn't like, it wasn't his main goal to become champion. He said that.
Well, he said that he saw himself more as a challenger, not a
champion. Yeah.
Not a champion. So he still wants to challenge and win different competitions.
Yeah.
So that's why I feel like that would have fit more, because then it implies that the journey is still going to lead him to meeting a lot of different people, meeting a lot of different Pokemon.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I just thought it could have been a little emotionally more satisfying for me, in my personal opinion.
Honestly, now keep in mind, I only started watching the Pokemon anime around when they started putting it on our Cartoon Network, and Sarah Nedichetti started.
Yeah, he's like, let me see, that was probably back in like mid 2000s, so I was already knee deep into Pokemon before he even got into it.
Yeah. But, for me, I think the way how they edited it, because I eventually went back to rewatch the old stuff too.
Did you?
Yeah, when I was really young, yeah. When I was in high school, I rewatched the entire Pokemon anime straight through. Just so that we
Wait. Every single episode?
Yeah, just to experience what it was like.
From Kanto to Johto through Hoenn all the way to Sinnoh?
Yeah, Actually, it was up until through Unova, actually, at the time, when I actually rewatched everything.
There was one time, I'm sorry to interrupt your thought.
Yeah.
But I just thought of this when, I forgot if it was when Diamond and Pearl was coming out, or when, Black and White was about to air. Cartoon Network actually just aired everything from episode 1.
Yeah, I actually remember that.
Point.
I actually remember that.
Non-stop, ongoing.
Yeah.
And, like...
Yeah, I actually remember that marathon. I was...
It lasted for, like, almost full 2 weeks or so.
I actually remember that, funnily enough. I actually
remember that. Because I did remember that, and I was like, who's gonna stay up, like, for more than 24 hours to watch every single episode for this marathon? And, like, I couldn't do it, obviously.
Yeah.
I stayed for some episodes, but then, you know, I was in high school, so I was just like, I gotta sleep at some point.
Yep. Yeah, I think that was because it was, like, part of, like, was it, like, right before, it had to have been right before Diamond and Pearl.
I think it was.
Because I think that was around the point when they were doing, like, the 10th anniversary, like, celebrations and whatnot. And I think that was Cartoon Network's way of celebrating 10 years of Pokemon.
Yeah.
So they decided to rerun a lot of the old episodes and whatnot. And
yeah, because it was when I was in high school, because Unova came out when I was in college.
Yeah. Unova, it came out, like, right, like, probably, I think it was, like, your second, maybe third year of college, I think.
No, Unova was, like, my second year of college. I do remember that. Because I had joined my anime club in my sophomore year.
Okay. But regardless, like, for me personally, like, because it's weird, because, like, I went back and rewatched the old episodes, and then I tried keeping up with it, and I did for a very long time, after that. I think, like, towards, like, I want to say, like, the middle of X and Y, and I stopped. And outside of the Kalos League, I never went back and rewatched the Pokemon anime until after Alola. So, pretty much I got back into it during Journeys. So, I never actually watched the Alola League. I never watched any of that.
I didn't get to really watch the Alola League, but I watched a lot of the early Alola episodes.
Yeah. So...
Again, it just stinks. Like, I mean, the dub is getting better at, like, releasing stuff somewhat closer.
But I think part of it is, too, now, is that they don't have to, like, go at a consistent schedule, I feel like, because...
I think, though, that they could afford to, honestly... I'm sorry, hang on a second. I just want to shut him down from doing his laser beam attack.
Yeah.
Let me finish what I was gonna say. Because, like, Horizons doesn't even have an announcement. At the time of this recording, Horizons doesn't have an announcement yet for its dub release, which it's gonna release on Netflix.
Yeah.
And they've already released the first episode, first half of the first episode as a promo on YouTube. Get people hyped for the anime, so I'm just kind of sitting here wondering what's taking so long. Because for Journeys, they were releasing like 12 episodes at a time on Netflix. And they were kind of keeping it up consistently for a bit.
Even through the COVID years, which was kind of surprising. Because you would have thought that would have slowed down the production big time.
Well, it did slow down productions on some stuff. That's the reason why Golden Wind had like a pause for a couple of weeks on
when part 5 was being like for JoJo was
part 5 Golden Wind. I'm sorry, just give me a sec to think. Like they got up to like episode 20 something, and then they just had to randomly stop for a couple months on Toonami because of COVID. They returned a few months later, though.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like it stopped, and thank God they did, because I loved Golden Wind, and I would have been depressed to have to watch Golden Wind only half finished in dub.
Yeah. Which, I think, you know...
So I don't know if Pokemon had that same problem or not.
I would assume so.
Probably somewhat.
But you get my point.
Yeah.
Like, no matter what, I think part of the issue, and I feel like this is the main reason why, and it's weird to think about, but in hindsight, when you think about Pokemon as a franchise, as a company, in the long term, you kind of have to realize that, yeah, part of the reason why the games had to be rushed out at a certain time was because primarily of the anime. And
well,
now,
the anime, the card game, like, there's, like, for everyone who keeps saying, like, you know, like, why don't they take their time and develop a game and stuff like that?
it's never Game Freak's fault, really. Like,
It's-
Game Freak...
Like, Pokemon's a franchise, not just a video game. It's not like Zelda, where the main point of it is to be a video game and a good video game.
Yeah.
Like, Pokemon's got too much riding on it to take its time. It should take its time. I'm not saying that it shouldn't take its time. Don't get me wrong on that. Like, I think they could afford to take a little more time, but just understand that once they decide this region's coming out with these Pokemon, they have to really follow that deadline schedule, because then everything else gets thrown off. Because the TCG is after the games usually.
By like a couple months, I want to say.
Yeah, so like then you have to halt the TCG, and then the anime too is also really tied in to the game's releases. So if you pause the game's release, then the anime gets delayed.
Yeah.
So like people just don't understand that there's a whole lot that goes into it, and it's not as simple as, well, just it's not as simple as Zelda, where they can just pause production on a game and take their time and say we need more time.
Yeah, no. That's
It's
not how
not.
this
It's
works.
not that easy.
It's not like how they could, like, back when they were developing Diamond and Pearl, where they had at least a little extra wiggle room because they weren't as, like, they were big. It was a big deal for Pokemon, you know. That was a thing back in those days, but I feel like they didn't have the structure they currently do now, to where they feel like they have to pump out games almost every year. And I think that is part of the problem, probably the reason why I feel like the Pokemon anime, to some extent, might have been slightly affected by that.
No, I don't
By
think
the decision making. Because when you think about it, if they really wanted to, they could have done a lot more. But I think part of the issue was they were given a tight schedule to work with.
No, I don't think that's why the anime ended the way it did. I do think it was a smarter decision to just focus on a new main character, especially since that's what everybody wanted anyway.
And people have been asking for this since, I want to say, Gen 6.
Gen 6 for a new protagonist?
Since after, like, midway through Gen 6. I remember because I think there was like, right sometime after when Pokemon Origins came out. That like, and they found how, even despite the fact that it was basically an anime adaptation of a video game, like, it was a really good adaptation, and people wanted more stories, like original stories, to actually be
Well, no,
kind of
those were
stylized
copying
like
the game's stories. That they weren't original stories.
No, but what I mean is, it's like, people saw what Origins was, and they saw the potential that they could. If they didn't focus on Ash, and it was like, okay, well, since it works for this, clearly it could work for something completely unrelated to Ash.
I will say Pokemon is very smart about trying new things before inputting them into their games or the anime. Because I feel like they probably felt more confident with doing Horizons the way that they did, because Twilight Wings wasn't a success, because the other anime was a success.
The TCG anime that came out
No.
briefly.
This is way before.
Okay.
I'm talking about like the Twilight Wings projects, the smaller anime projects that they had where Ash wasn't involved at all.
Oh, like the Legends Arceus one, the Adventures in Hisui.
No, Ash was involved in that. I'm talking about the stuff Ash wasn't involved in.
No, I know, that's
where
why
it was more slice of life type stuff. I think that's what pushed Pokemon to say, I don't think we need Ash as a main character anymore.
Yeah, I could see that.
and gave them the confidence to say, yes, we can have this without Ash now.
Yeah.
And also, if you hadn't noticed, like, the only reason they implemented Pokemon into the overworlds for Gen 8 was because it was such a success in Let's Go.
Yeah.
And that's also the reason why everyone that bitches about why not every Pokemon's in there, I found out that that's the reason why every Pokemon's not in there, because they had to make the models for the Pokemon in the overworld, that they didn't have the space to make every other Pokemon available.
Let alone include everything else from the previous games.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Because they had to spend so much time focusing on putting Pokemon in the overworld. That's where it started. That's why it happened.
Yeah.
Why every Pokemon's not available.
I do still believe that if they wanted to, they could release a battle simulator.
Oh, yes, they could.
To satisfy those people.
Yes, listen, they could do it as a Pokemon Home compatibility thing, where you just battle with your Pokemon inside home, but realistically, I don't think they want to do that, because then there's no way to attach held items. Like, I feel like they could just make honestly, they probably should just make another stadium at that point.
But that's what I mean, like, if they did that, then at least it's like, because then VGC wouldn't have to use that system either. They could still use the main series games for it.
No, I get that.
So,
still.
I don't know, like, I don't think, regardless of the circumstances, like, the way how I see it too is that the Switch was a harder jump than just going 3D. Because we have to think about it like this for a minute too.
Also, the Pokemon's textures changed between Gen 7 and Gen 8. And then even for Gen 9.
Like the textures Pokemon
are
updated.
more, yeah, the textures were updated, the Pokemon are more detailed, so it's just like, after a certain point, once you reached over 1,000 Pokemon, I think that it was just going to be inevitable that they couldn't include every single one after a certain point, so it just was something that was going to inevitably happen. I just don't think people were ready for it to be Gen 8.
Yeah.
And I don't think Game Freak was ready for it to be Gen 8 until everyone was like, oh, I like seeing Pokemon in the overworld. And then everyone complains about not being able to collect every Pokemon. It's like, well, this is what you guys chose that you wanted.
I do think, though, people are going to get very angry for when the connectivity between bank and home ceases to exist.
Well, here's the thing. Transfer moves are no longer viable. Like, I'm sorry, guys, like, for Smogon players and stuff like that. And, like, people that do the competitions with transfer moves are just dead at this point.
Yeah, but
because
I'm not
even when
talking...
because even when you transfer the Pokemon, once you transfer it to the new game to play in, it gets rid of those moves.
Yeah.
It even gets rid of the PP ups and stuff, which that's something I'm a little more upset about because I worked very hard to raise some of my Pokemon's things to. It'll still keep the stats and the
abilities and whatnot, unless they change it.
No. It still keeps the stats, it still keeps the abilities, it still keeps the hyper training that you did. And it still keeps, like, all that stuff. It's just the moves. But I think Game Freak just realized that they had to do it at a certain point. Because now, like, not everything can learn Toxic anymore.
Not everything can learn Skull.
Well, Skull just become more available. And but Gastrodon no longer has... Yeah, so it's just like... So and it stinks because I miss playing like the Smogon OU format singles. I just feel bad that I haven't really had the time to be able to prepare teams and like train and play for it.
But either way, like I definitely do think like going back on the whole like switching between hardware debate, you know, I feel like they even had notable issues with X and Y in particular, which turns 10 this year at the time of this recording. It's like literally like a week or two away from the 10th anniversary of X and Y. And you could tell even then, like, they were still struggling trying to figure things out with 3D in general, even despite the fact that their other studio that they had, Genius Sonority, already had somewhat of an idea of what to do, but it was just a completely different beast. And I feel like the problem going forward is that the transition into new hardware each and every single time will always be a struggle for them. At least from what I experienced, you know.
Yeah.
Like, going back and replaying through every single Pokemon game that I did last year, it became more and more apparent that it is very difficult to actually, like, make the Pokemon as expressive as you need to be, especially when you're working with newer hardware.
Yeah, but I feel like the hardware back in the day wasn't as challenging as the hardware that they got now.
Yeah, no, the transition from the DS to the 3DS wasn't too difficult. But
no, what I'm talking about is, like, they used to go from making Pokemon from handheld games to Pokemon as, like, main system games. So at that point, there's a lot that goes into it.
Yeah.
And there's probably a lot more coding and stuff to go into. Like, if you look back to, like, Stadium 1, Stadium 2, Coliseum, and
XD.
And Revolution, like, those are all the same sprites from each respective generation.
Yeah. Like
imagine if they had to try to remake those sprites, those games probably would have taken longer to come out.
Yeah, because think about it like this, they were still using Stadium 1 sprites.
Yeah, that's what I just said.
No,
that's what I just said.
But, like, so that's why I don't give too much gripe on Game Freak in particular, because I know what they're up against at that point, and it's not easy. Coding-wise, it's definitely not easy to actually import all those Pokemon in.
Also, to give them all specific move stats, to give them all specific actual stats, like making it so that way they're in the overworld and having different animations and stuff like that. I just don't think people understand how difficult that actually is.
Yeah.
And how time-consuming that is.
So that's why I definitely do believe, like, because I guarantee you when they announce the next version of the Switch, assuming it's going to be like another Switch-type console down the line, Game Freak is going to have a struggle.
I can't see them doing anything else that doesn't resemble a Switch at this point, because the main selling point of the Switch is a device that you can not only play on the TV, but take anywhere on the go.
Yeah.
Like, I don't see them, like, getting rid of handheld systems.
Because,
like, it's such a big market to be able to take your games on the go.
Yeah.
Is everything still okay, I think, table?
Everything should still be good. But, regardless of the circumstance, like, I definitely do believe that going forward, they
have acknowledged the complaint of, like, games not being able to take enough time, so maybe they won't rush development as much, which I think that's probably what they should do. I think that they could afford to, like, focus on, like, having other companies do side games for them while they work on the mainline games. Like, I mean, like, everyone's thinking we're getting another Legends game, and everyone thinks it's going to be in Johto, which I would be interested. I would be more interested in Johto, because Johto is tied to a lot of traditional past stories. Plus, it would be interesting to see the Raikou and Suicune.
I'd be curious to see how they would go about a Legends Unova with, like, having the original dragon in there, and see what kind of story you can tell with that.
I'm more interested in Johto, but I just love Johto so much, so...
Yeah.
Johto is like old Noah's Sinnoh, basically, in my opinion.
Honestly...
Or have you grown out of Sinnoh?
I think I've grown out of Sinnoh. Like, for the longest time, I loved Sinnoh as a region, but my problems with it really started, like, after playing through it for so many years. Like, I've realized that...
So did you have... What I had was Gen 1 burnout?
Well, it wasn't Gen 1 burnout. It was more...
Well, it's applying the same concept of you played through the gen so many times that's just...
You start to acknowledge the flaws a little bit, but also because BDSP was just a lot to be desired, and that ruined my experience with it.
Oh yeah, no. Faithfully boring.
Faithfully boring.
Whoever came up with that, I saw that as a title to a video, and I didn't get the name of the person who put that as the title to their video. So if you're ever watching this, sir, you summed up the game perfectly in just that one title alone.
Yep.
So Good
Like,
on you.
and what's crazy is that if you go on all sorts of social media now, like, the amount of creativity that's come out of the ROM hacking scene for that game in particular is absolutely crazy.
I don't know how I feel about ROM hacks for Pokemon. I've never really been the one to really play ROM hacks. I know, I'm not saying, like, I don't know. I'm not saying people shouldn't enjoy the game and, like, play, like, the different stories that can come out of it, but it just feels weird because a lot of the stories that I feel like are being told sometimes don't fit into Pokemon's mold, or at least what Pokemon has become now.
Yeah.
That I feel like I can understand why Game Freak is kind of like, this isn't what we have envisioned for the series. If you could kind of cut that out, we'd appreciate it.
Yeah. Because, I feel like it's always gotten that bad stigmatization from, like, stuff like Pokemon Reborn. And
Yeah, I don't know any of those.
whatnot.
I don't know any of those stories per se.
Well, because Pokemon Reborn was just dark and edgy for no fucking reason, and then Insurgents was just basically used trying to stop cults from taking over a region, essentially, which was dumb. Both of those games were stupid to play through, especially Reborn, which had a really weird level cap system, which was just, like, really difficult to play through. And I don't know, like, I've played through it multiple times, but I cannot, like, get into it after a certain point.
So I'm not trying to put people down that like the games.
No,
like,
I'm
definitely
not either,
not.
but it is one of those things I personally just don't enjoy as much as I used to.
Let's spice things up.
But either way, I don't know, like,
Yeah, again, I'm not putting down anybody that has been playing the ROM hacks or anybody that enjoys the ROM hacks. I just don't think they fit into what Pokemon is supposed to be, and that's why I'm not really interested in them, and probably why I wouldn't ever really LP them or anything.
Plus,
I'd rather just play the main storyline games, and then whatever they release sequentially. Oh, he's vomiting people again.
yeah. I don't know, like, I feel like the side games that they've been doing lately have been actually surprisingly good.
Oh,
Or unless you want to try to contradict that.
no, I'm not saying the side games aren't good, but it's just like, I mean, I would be interested in seeing a Legends Celebi, or a Legends, from Johto, because it has more ties to the past. But I don't know, like, also people are debating on whether or not, I think Unova's gonna get something. Like, I don't know what, but the fact that they brought up Unova in the DLC a lot,
Yeah.
and the fact that Blueberry Academy is literally in Unova, I feel like Unova's gonna get something, whether it be a remake or I couldn't really picture a Legends game for it. I don't think it has enough. Well, I mean, I guess you could look into its past a bit more, but I don't think it'd be as interesting as like some of the other things.
I think it would be interesting though, because
I don't know. I find Johto would be more interesting than.
no, I get
Unova.
that, because then you could also kind of showcase the events leading to the burnt tower, kinda. Which that I'd be curious to see how they handle that.
Yeah.
If they do ever decide to do a Legends Johto game in the future.
Yeah. Also, people have even been speculating about if we're getting Black and White 3, which that I think I would be more interested in than a remake.
I would also agree, but the big caveat to that is that it's been 10 years since, well, over 10 years since Black and White 2, and they would have to. The problem with Black and White 3, and the reason why I feel like a Legends game is more up their alley at this point, is because doing Black and White 3 at this point, when they could have done something like sooner, But then again, actually no, they really couldn't. Like, they would have to remake not just the original Black and White, they would have to remake Black and White 2, which after watching Shoka Convor's playthrough is very, like, especially in the post-game,
yeah,
it's very
would
detailed.
Would you rather them... Because you know they're not going to do 2. They're not going to remake 2, they'd remake 1.
Exactly.
So at that point, would you rather them remake 1, or rather see a new story related to it?
I'd rather see a new story.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying Black and White 3 is probably...
Well, they're not going to do Black and White 3. I'm just going to tell you this.
Well, I mean, no one ever thought they were going to do Black and White 2, and then they defied expectations by doing... Instead of Pokemon Gray, they defied expectations by doing a sequel.
Yeah.
So what if they're just going to do that again?
Yeah. I don't know.
Or...
Because the development cycle for that game was very weird. Because I think it was... I forget who exactly... in Game Freak was just like, you know what? Instead of doing an enhanced version, why don't we just make a sequel to the game?
Yeah, I think that they... I've been listening to a lot of Did You Know Gaming, and I think the story went... I'm not 100% sure, and you guys should go check out Did You Know Gaming, especially with Pokemon Facts, if you're interested in behind-the-scenes stuff. But anyway, the point is that I think they said that they wanted to defy expectations because everyone was expecting there to be a third version, that they just wanted to flip it around and like give people, you know, everyone something more to be more excited about.
Yeah. Well, I don't know, because again, this is why I say a Legends game would make more sense in the long run, because if you do a Legends game, you don't have to go back and remake or if you're gonna do...
You have to realize that if they do a Legends game, they have to make everything from scratch. Because a lot of cities in Unova are fully developed right now. In the past, they were not.
Yeah.
They'd probably have to be like colony type stuff.
Yeah. So it's kind of hard for me to like envision them doing like just a regular remake of those games, because there was a lot that I feel like, I don't know, it's gonna be tough, which is why one thing you did point out to me a while back while we were discussing about this like briefly was that typically they do remakes every console generation, once every console generation.
No, I didn't say that.
Well,
they've done remakes, like, starting with Gen 1, it was always at the release of a new gen.
Yeah.
Starting with Gen 3.
Yeah.
They just happened to skip, They happened to skip a Gen 1 generation.
Yeah.
But if they were just going to make Gen 4 the way that they ended up doing.
I
didn't like the chibi art style, I'm sorry. For people that did, I would have just been happier with the regular character models, like we were getting in
Sun and Mode.
Yeah.
Which now, since this conversation's gone to that, would you have preferred to see Diamond and Pearl remakes in Gen 7 instead of getting Ultra Sun and Moon? Knowing what we have now.
Yeah, I think I would have preferred like a DS. Well, I guess it was probably weird to do that because it was technically already a game for the DS. So they wanted to make something that would be on the most recent console.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if that's the exact story, but that's just what I'm thinking the story is.
Yeah.
But I really wish they had done better with it, because it really was, like, to me it has no replay value. I rather just play the DS games.
Yeah.
Because, like, I will say for Kanto, I could go either or. I'm not talking about Let's Go in this situation. I would not replay through Let's Go. I'm talking about the original versus the remake.
Yeah.
I could play either or and be satisfied. I mean, there's more to do in Fire Red and Leaf Green, which is probably why I'd lean more toward Fire Red and Leaf Green than the original.
Yeah.
But I still would play either or.
That's fair.
In terms of Gen 2's remakes, I am completely happy with either or. Playing Crystal or playing... Both are just really fun to me.
Yeah.
I mean, the remake just added a whole lot more, which I appreciated.
Yeah. I also appreciated Gold Soul Silver.
Yeah. That's all. Also, I'm doing... I think you all already know. I'm doing this Love Ball journey of trying to get every Pokemon I can in the Love Ball. And it was thanks to that, Heart Gold and Soul Silver, why I was able to get as many as I did so far.
Yeah. Are you gonna go back and catch more, or?
I already caught what I could.
Okay.
Honestly, like, I caught what I could.
But regardless, like, because for me, Hoenn is such a weird sticking point because I want to say that...
Oh yeah, I didn't get to say for how I felt about
Okay, so you go ahead.
I think I'm probably more happy with the DS version for Hoenn.
With the 3DS
I
version?
probably am a little more happier with the 3DS version. I couldn't tell you exactly the reason why. I think it gives a whole lot more story to it than the original. But also, there's Emerald, and Emerald was really good too, so I'm not sure. I think if I'm gonna replay it in the Game Boy Advance days, I'd rather go to
Emerald.
I'd rather go to Emerald. I'd rather go to Emerald. Because the story's a little more complex. But I do really like the 3DS version and what it added. And, like, I never minded Mega Evolution as a mechanic.
I do think, though, that the fact they hand you a Latios or Latias before the 6th gem is a little ridiculous, though.
Well, yeah, but that's also your way you fly around the map, so...
I guess. But I think... Because, like...
So I can accept
the only reason why I liked, like, regular Ruby and Sapphire back then was just because that's what I grew up on. But playing through, like, that again recently was just such a chore at times. But I will say, if I had to pick between Emerald and Oras, I'd still probably say Oras for the sole reason that they added so much to the story.
Yeah, that's what I feel like too. Just the only thing you're missing is the Battle Frontier.
Which, if I want to play Battle Frontier, I'll just go and load up my old save file of Emerald and do that.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like my whole like take on it. Like, and I think that's part of the reason why they didn't do a Battle Frontier, was because they didn't want to invalidate Emerald at all. Like,
I don't think that's the reason. I think they added so much to Oras that they just couldn't fit a Battle Frontier.
Yeah.
That's my honest opinion. I don't know if that's the truth. I don't know anybody at Game Freak, so I can't confirm that, but that's just what I think.
Better than expected.
Either way, I think I am just... And that's kind of the reason, like, at least with all those remakes, even Let's Go, they still at least attempted to add something to it, as opposed to Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, where I feel like they really didn't do anything with it. Mm-hmm. Like, yeah, they made certain boss fights difficult, like Cynthia is like significantly harder than the original.
Yeah, I will give the Cynthia fight this. It was really hard, and it was actually... That was like the one fight that was worth playing the game all the way through. But we finished! Took a long time, but we got there. Was that... Did I dream all that?
Rindo, are you alright? Coco was emitting some kind of hallucinogenic field, and we got caught up in it.
Where am I? What happened?
Oh.
Don't worry, it's over now.
Neko, what a happy coincidence meeting you here. Ugh, oh my goodness me! I'm almost late for the big sale! I'd best be off. Toodaloo! Bye-bye!
So we didn't actually fight her? That was just a dream?
Did you notice it too? After the battle, that weird black stuff around Coco disappeared.
Huh?
Really? I didn't see anything.
You didn't? Interesting.
Lord Rindo.
Lord Rindo, we must continue onward, lest our romp be cut short. That's right, we have to go.
Should have ignored the remainder. But at least I got to collect some significant data.
Alright.
All
Now
right.
the other fight I gotta go to. That was one of the fights. And there's one more to do.
Which? is going to be kinda a pain in the ass. Both figuratively and literally. I don't recall if I know how to get there, though.
We'll just fast travel there to save some time. And here it is. This is the last fight we have to do. I do want to change one of my pins though.
Oh.
I want to change this back to the other pin I was using for beat. How long did it take you to find it?
Not that long. But
But
let me, before we go into this fight, because I've seen her do this before, and I don't know how the fuck she actually managed to do this on Ultimate.
no, I didn't do this one on Ultimate.
Oh.
I only had to do it on Medium to be able to
Oh.
get
Didn't
the
you do
pin
this on hard at one point?
no. I think I tried it on hard and I was like, nope, this is too difficult. I mean, I could try to do it on hard for the audience here and see how that goes. Sure, why not?
I feel like this is a mistake.
This is a mistake.
Hey, you guys, like, if this isn't a sign that this fight is bullshit, I don't know what will be.
Yeah, he's seen me do this fight way too many times. On
I'm
easy,
just like-
it's manageable. Medium, it's pretty difficult. I have no idea what it's gonna be like on hard, and
Whoops, time
nope,
to grab
I
out the
am not.
popcorn.
And I have no idea what it's gonna be like, and I'm not trying this on Ultimate. There's some seriously strong noise up ahead. Keep going. Of course. Huh?
Huh?
Two
Minamimotos?
Minamimotos?
What? How? The hell's going on? Heh, I finally found you. Never thought you'd be the one to force our lines to intersect. But we're collinear. We've always been on the same line.
Come again?
The two are one and the same?
I didn't know Mr. Minami had a twin.
What's up with the matching outfits? It's too weird.
Your harmonic progression stops here. Crunch!
Hey, Zeptograms.
Listen up, Zeptograms. This guy's a non-trivial opponent. Think you can handle it?
I get the feeling we don't have a choice.
Then let's get this started. Let's get this experiment started.
All right, watch yourselves.
Open up your eyes. Transformation track. I feel like this is a mistake.
Ooh boy, well,
Look at all those birdies.
Jeez, intimidating much?
Yes, Shoka. Your number's off. Thank God his pin was only a drop for medium.
just imagine having to do this bullshit on hard. Oh my god!
Yeah, he took away way too much HP.
Oh shit! Whoop! That's hard mode for you. And that is why we stick to normal.
Yeah. Not that I'm gonna do much better on normal. I probably should put the heel pin on.
I'll bark and
You
no
didn't put the
bite,
heel
I'd
pin
say.
on?
Not yet, no. I want to see if I can do it without it first. Good thing it doesn't matter what difficulty you beat this on, too.
What's up with those eyes? Be careful. Something's not right. Keep it together.
Yeah, I need that heal pin on. Anyone who can do this fight on Ultimate, first take some video proof that you did it.
Yeah, because this is some bullshit. Because anyone who could do this on Ultimate is actually going in for it. Because this is like impossible to do even on hard. Like you saw, she got like two-shotted.
Well, to be honest, I just charged in without really like
Thinking it through. But like,
I'm putting
oh
on
my
my pen.
God.
He hits like a truck. It doesn't matter. Like, a lot of my characters are max stats right now.
So, what the fuck? That's like the craziest thing.
Oh no, not Rindo's. Neku's. A lot of my characters are max stats, so it's not like I'm going in this with weak stats. It's just this guy is that hard. He's not easy. You can't really combo off of him either. Where is that pen? There it is. Open up your eyes. Transformation. Transformation. Yeah. Definitely, if anyone has done this on Ultimate, this fight, I want to see video proof of it.
I want to see video proof of it. Because, truthfully, this is some bullshit.
I have to pay attention to my
What's up with
movements.
those eyes? Be careful. Something's not right. Exquisite timing. Well done, sir.
I shall end you.
Yeah, like this is the type of fight I have to really pay attention to his movements. Just not too wild.
Oh my God.
You're surprisingly helpful. I shall end you.
Maybe someday I'll stream this fight on hard or ultimate. If you guys ever want to just watch me have a lot of pain and suffering for some reason. But that day ain't today.
Yeah, no.
Darn it, I missed.
You just timed it.
Yeah.
Was thy humble contribution.
Nice work.
There. Oh, darn it, I mistimed it again!
How's that? Let's keep it going.
Yeah, we're just gonna hang back here.
You've got to be joking.
Whoa!
I pressed the wrong Z. Oh, I was trying to do ZL to heal, but I pressed the wrong one.
Alright, we'll do this one more time and then...
Well, no, we're gonna do this as many times as we need to.
Well, no, I'm saying for this episode.
No, we're gonna do it as many times as we need to.
Oh, God.
Like a boss. What's up with those eyes? Be careful. Something's not right.
I've returned to the world. I shall end you.
I got you. Let's keep going.
One more time.
We sure we can handle this?
Your numbers are
I'm sure someone's got a secret strategy that works every time.
I shall end it.
What's up with those eyes? Be careful! Something's not right!
When am I ever gonna get the timing on this right? Damn it! Is it because the capture is like a little bit slower than the
So you
That's
have-
why I'm messing up on the timing on this?
Yes.
Damn it.
So you're gonna have to like.
I have to go a little bit
Perhaps
sooner
we are
than
not
I'm used to. Okay. I hate that. This is why we need to have a setup where we're playing on a TV and not directly off the capture.
I mean,
Surprisingly helpful.
Yeah, I am!
Thanks. But of course.
I'm sorry, I'm probably gonna go into try-hard mode real quick. There we go. I might need you to keep the audience entertained.
I mean, I think. I mean, right now. Oh shit! Like, are his attack patterns like pretty straightforward, or?
Yeah, a bit, but I just have to dodge sooner than I'm used to.
Okay, at least it looks like you got the timing down, right?
A little bit.
What's up with those eyes? Be careful! Something's not right! You okay? Nagi, keep going!
Okay.
One more try.
Everyone, look alive! Nice one, Nagi.
Thank you.
Let's keep it up. Perfecto. That was sick.
Gotcha. Most spectacular.
Good to go. Gotcha. Let's turn up the volume, yo. Well done. I'm impressed. Much better.
Okay, since we're on this boss, that's gonna probably be a nightmare and a half. I guess I could quickly talk about the one boss that always used to screw me up as a kid, and even into my early adulthood. And this is gonna sound really stupid and probably very dumb, but the final boss in Sonic 2 for the Genesis, that was always a boss that I could never get right. Like, now it's so simple and easy to me. But back in the day, when I was doing this on actual hardware, where I didn't have save states or anything like that, I had to sit there and really, like, work for it. Because in that entire stage, you don't get any rings, so one hit and you're screwed. But more importantly, if you lost all your lives and got the game over, you'd have to start the whole game all over again just to get a chance at that. And I don't know, as a kid I could never do it. Like, I don't know, something about that boss was BS. Like, the 3D games, like the Adventure series and Heroes and stuff, like, I could do those final bosses no problem. But I think it was just something by the fact that they were like, you know what, we don't, you know what, as a way to purposely make it so that way you can't beat this on one go, we're gonna make it so that way you get no rings going into that final boss fight. And it's technically not just one boss fight you have to go through. You have to go through a second one, which is kind of like a mini boss leading into the final boss. And even there, sometimes I would screw up a lot of the time because the attack patterns are, while simplistic, I could never really get a good handle on. So, I don't know, like, to me, it was just really annoying to deal with. Like, that was the one boss that I always struggled with, like, as a kid. And I'm trying to think, like, what else? What other bosses, like... And, mind you, I'm not really good at platformers, so, like, that is, like, part of the issue. But also just, dear God, that was always a pain. And then, the one boss I still want to try to beat later on in the future is that final boss from Diddy Kong Racing. Because I attempted it years ago. I attempted an entire playthrough of that game years ago. And I never finished it because I just found the boss too difficult. So, I don't know. I was just getting frustrated, and by the time I could get back to doing it, I was just like, nope, I had enough. So, I don't know. Like, I just find it weird that this boss in particular. Oh shit. So, yeah, look. Because, I don't know, like, I was never really good at platformers. Like, no matter what the circumstances were, I don't know why, I just... Because I've had naturally bad hand coordination as a kid, and even, like, now I still struggle with it at times, like, the fact that I've had that is part of the... I feel like it's part of the reason why I'm bad at platformers. Like, I'm more used to fighting games and, you know, racing games and whatnot, and... That it doesn't take too much, you know. It doesn't take near. I mean, it depends on what fighting game you're playing, but like I feel like most of the time, like I don't feel like I'm trying nearly as hard to just get through something in those games in particular, as opposed to, you know, actually doing a platformer like Mario or Sonic or whatnot. I think that's part of the reason why, I don't know, like, I struggled as a kid playing those games. Like, that's why I could never sit through and finish Echo the Dolphin, despite the fact that I actually owned the game at one point. Because, one, I would get lost, and I would just sometimes have no idea where I was going. But two, and this is, like, some of the stages would just be outright bullshit. Like, I don't know, like, it's kind of the reason why there are some games, like, I'm trying to think, like, because recently I tried going and play through Sonic Frontiers, and I don't know why, but I couldn't actually fully, like, I still haven't finished it. And I think it's because I got frustrated at one point with a puzzle in the game, on the first island, and I don't know, after that, and after clearing that first island, I just never went back to finish the game, and I know it's a good game. I know I want to finish it, but I just haven't had the time to sit down and actually play through it.
Hey, back me up here, will ya? Your numbers
But yeah, like, in general, that's just, like, my personal take on things. Like, it's really, like... And I don't know if I'm the only one who feels like that, but to me, that's just been par for the course at this point. Like, I haven't been able to, There's so many games I wish I could actually finish. Like I have like quite a few of them that I actually haven't like touched fully, and I want to say like a couple years, but I don't know. Like the problem for me nowadays is like I'm too deep invested in like in Vanguard and a few other things, in my own personal life, to a point where I don't see myself realistically going back and playing through some of those older games, you know. But I guess at the end of the day, that's because even with something as like complex as something like chess, like I played chess for like years. Like back in high school, I played it a lot, and I kind of stopped after a certain point because I just wasn't getting a handle on it. And then I tried picking it up again last semester and this semester in particular. And I don't know, I just can't like really like get a better grasp of things. And maybe it's because I haven't done my research into stuff, but I just find it like I'd rather not sit there and like purposely like sit there and like look at how other people play. I'd rather just keep playing for myself and then figure things out as I go along. And that's just always been my approach, because even with something like Smash Brothers, where you could sit there and most professional players would sit there and lab for hours on end, getting their button combos figured out perfectly and just fine-tuning like how they play a character. I never really tried it like that. I never really found a need to do that before, really. Like there'd be some times where like, obviously with Pokemon it's a bit different, because they're like, I don't mind it too much because I'm already like, I got a decent handle on it. But for stuff that I actually want to like try getting back into, or stuff that is like I'm already familiar with, but I just have no like, I don't know. To me, like, I do just find it harder to like actually get good at something over time. And I think that's, you know, it is a bit difficult for me, because I've had a relatively harder time learning things growing up than most people, than most kids in general. And I don't know if that's just part of it, but I don't know. I guess in some ways it's translated into my gaming in some ways. Not to say that I'm just gonna like give up and quit on something if I feel like it's too hard or anything, but it's just noticeable when, oh,
How could we lose?
Jesus Christ.
Rage.
Put it on easy. Put it on easy.
No.
Put it on easy.
I've done it on medium so many times. I don't know why. It's again because I'm getting my timing wrong on dodge because of the thing.
Because for full context, it's the way we have it recorded is she's viewing it off the capture card, which takes like a couple seconds. Like it has a slight delay, and specifically for a boss like this, it's really hard for her to actually get the button combos figured out.
That's why for streaming, I'm waiting until we have like a better setup, or at least a monitor that'll allow me to watch in real time.
Yeah.
Instead of having to rely on the stream for it.
Because I've tried doing streaming like this before, where it was like I would just sit there and do it off of the capture or off the live stream in general, and I would find it very difficult. I don't know how I did it before when I was trying to stream before, but I think I would get it down to a point where I wouldn't have too many issues, but it took a lot of effort. And unfortunately, I don't remember how exactly I got it to that way. The capture card would still be running, but I can have this on its the game on its own input, and I still haven't figured that out yet. But it would come up. It would be very helpful in the situation if I could figure it out. I don't feel like I'm putting in too much time into that.
Yeah, it's just easier for us to buy another monitor than it is to try to figure out that convolutedness.
Because there's some things I would love to try to like actually like live stream and stuff, like stuff off of Steam. I'd love to have like to sit there and actually try to like live stream it and whatnot, but it's just too difficult because going off of one monitor, because I technically have something that acts as a second monitor for some gaming needs, but it's an old TV with with an HDMI that doesn't go above 480, which is kind of unfortunate, to say the least.
It doesn't even let you watch things on capture.
Yeah, and that's what irks me. So that's why I would have to get a second like decent monitor like the one I've currently got. And the setup is not the greatest, but like it's at least something I've got going on here. Like back when I had a laptop before I got this, before I got the desktop that I currently own, like I would be able to sit there and hook it up to like a separate monitor and have it like 2 screens, and it would actually still work perfectly fine. The quality wouldn't be the best, but it would at least be something. Because I don't remember if you remember my old setup from Jersey, but like
I somewhat remember it. Alright, I'm gonna spare you guys and do this fight on easy if I lose. Again, if you want to watch me live stream this fight,
and try it on a harder difficulty, let us know in the comments.
like, if you actually want to see me try to do it on a harder difficulty.
Because this is ridiculous.
I'm still gonna, I haven't fully given up on this, attempt at the moment.
I mean, you're healing quite a bit. So
well, that's from the regain.
It's gonna move now.
Don't, you're gonna throw me off if you do that.
Okay, sorry. Oh boy. And then, I guess going back to like what I was discussing earlier, that's kind of the same reason why I've tried doing Nuzlocke in the past when it comes to like actually sitting there and recording stuff for Nuzlocke and whatnot, and I just, after a certain point I couldn't do it. Like I acknowledge I don't enjoy playing games like that in that sense. Like, I do not like playing through Nuzlocke and stuff, because then, God forbid, I have a really good team member, and then that team member ends up dying due to something completely out of my control.
Marlene. Marlene's been your, has been your Nuzlocke killer for Diamond and...
Maylene, yeah.
Maylene.
Yeah. Like, that game in particular is bullshit. Because...
You tried it twice, and she killed you twice.
Yes! I'm still crying over that first loss, because I'm like, I had this perfect strategy figured out, and then it's like, bolt up, and I was like, wait, what?
No, it's because you just didn't bother to attack when you had the chance to. It's literally what it came down to. You were too worried about setting up instead of just attacking.
Yeah, my second attempt, I got cooked still. I don't remember how I lost, but it was, again,
that was
because
still
of
the
Lucario.
funniest, one of the funniest Don't Know moments ever, was watching that.
Yeah. No, like, I just...
Like, if you were to ever make a compilation video of all Noah's funniest moments, I feel like that whole fight would be on top, because it's just like, you were so cocky going into it. You're like, I'm gonna do this. This is gonna be a cakewalk. Now I don't foresee any problems.
2 seconds later, oh, I just lost. Because for a while I was doing good, and then for some odd reason I just wasn't.
No, you decided to...
Well, one, I didn't grind, which was my biggest problem. I didn't take the time to sit there and grind.
That wasn't... Oh, I need to focus.
But yeah, no, like, Nuzlocke I just cannot do anymore. Like, I've tried and tried again over the years, and I just am not a fan of them anymore. Like, I cannot sit there and do Nuzlocke anymore. Like, I like watching people do Nuzlocke on the occasion, but even then, like, I just find it kind of boring at times, because I've experienced it one too many times already, and it's not something I'd personally put myself through over and over again.
Maybe you're just not good at Nuzlocke.
I'm not. I know that for a fact, because like...
Maybe Nuzlocke aren't your thing.
They aren't. They really aren't. Battle challenges, like the Battle Frontier, sure, I'll give it a try. I attempted that like like 5 years ago, and I was making decent progress, but I just never finished it. But that's like one of the many like things on my Pokemon bucket list that I'm gonna want to do in the future. But Nuzlocke, no, I'm not doing that ever again. Just screw that. Oh, perfect timing. This is the first time I've seen you actually hit this.
I got lucky.
Alright, now that you've got the momentum back.
Let's not say that. I'm not gonna get cocky.
But either way, like, because I used to watch a lot of Nuzlocke in high school, and I liked watching it, but then when I would try it myself, I would just hate it. And I never went back to doing more Nuzlocke and whatnot, and I just don't see myself doing that ever, because I just don't see a point. I don't know. Like, because part of it too is like I think I more so enjoy playing through the games casually, just as is, without any stipulations. Now, if I want to try using different Pokemon, sure, that's one thing, but like,
Yeah, but then you could just do a whole new playthrough.
Yeah, exactly. Instead of doing a Nuzlocke, which you have to put so many hours into, and then for you to possibly just fail and fuck up the whole run, it's just not fun for me. Almost there.
Don't make me nervous.
There we go. Holy shit. High five.
That took longer than I had wanted it to. Anyone can do that on Ultimate. Send me a video if you're doing it on Ultimate. I would love to see what your strategy was the whole time.
Damn. Guess I ain't on my game today.
It's okay, Pete. That wasn't necessary.
I could do this ad infinitum.
I'd really rather not.
Math is done. The math is done. I showed my work. QED. Consider our set unbounded.
And he's off. What a strange person.
Well, we're unbinded or something, which I think means we can do whatever we want.
Mm-hmm.
Probably. We should keep moving.
I still have a non-zero T value. Maybe I should go check out the show. Holy fuck.
That's done. So for now, we will just end the episode here. Next time, I think, will be the finale. Which means that I'll just show you the secret endings and how to get them.
Yep.
And then we will just go from there.
Yep. So until next time, this is Noah.
And Mirrorcard Neko.
We'll see you guys then.
Bye, everyone.